I'm ready.
Well, hello everyone and welcome to Mom Street USA. For those of you who don't know, my name is Jackie, aka Wishes Mama, and I am one of the hosts of Mom Street USA. Tonight, my typical partner in crime, Kate, the Disney Cicerone, is finishing up her Disney World vacation. I believe she's currently flying home or attempting to fly home through the weather that Orlando is experiencing right now. So I am very fortunate enough to be joined by the one, the only, the all things jazzy, Miss Jazmin.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited. So tonight's episode is going to look a little bit different. The last two episodes, Kate and I have been giving a lot of tips and tricks and hacks and that type of thing. And you'll still get a lot of that tonight, I'm sure, because I'm sure Jazzy's got a ton of really great information to share with us. But tonight will be a little bit more kind of just her experiences and kind of what she's, had happen in the parks as a parent and things like that. So we're excited to hear from her. And as I mentioned before, if you guys are in our chat live here on TikTok, make sure that just be aware that Jazzy can't see my end and I can't see hers. So like I said, feel free to hop back and forth and we will relay information as needed.
Yes.
Perfect. So Jazmin, give us just a little bit of info about you. Tell our viewers and our listeners, a lot of them probably know you because we've got a huge group of supporters here that are already familiar with you, but give us some info about you and who you are and all that good stuff.
So my name is Jazmin. I am a mom of two. I have an 11-year-old and a 3-year-old. So I have a really nice gap going on there. I've been going to the park since I was 5 years old. I grew up at the West Coast. I've been to Disneyland practically almost every weekend since I was 5. So I practically grew up in the parks and just didn't want to let it go. So I brought my kids along with me and I'm like, hey, if you don't like Disney too bad, you're getting Disney. Yeah.
I love it. No choice. No choice.
No choice. Sorry. You're stuck with me. I made you. So,
And now
yeah.
you currently live in the Orlando area, yes?
Yes. I currently moved to Orlando due to my husband's work. We got relocated, and I was just very fortunate that there's Disney because I would have lost my mind. I would have been like, oh, what do I do?
No,
I would have probably already moved back home. If I wasn't anywhere near Disney, I would have been like, bye.
I'm going back. I can't do this anymore.
Going back. Yeah, my sanity can't take this. But yeah, I give everybody props that's a Disney fan that lives out of state and travels to Disney. I give you huge props because Disney is a huge part of my sanity. So
Perfect. And so about how often do you think you visit the parks per week?
I am at the parks at least 3 to 2 times a week.
Very
Mostly cool. 3.
Yeah, nice. And for those of you who don't know, Jazzy does do quite a bit of live streaming. So be sure if you're not following her to click on over to her side and make sure you give her a follow to catch those live streams. You've been doing a lot of Sundays for your live streams.
I've been doing Sundays because Eat to the Beat has had a really good bands on Sundays. So I decided I was going to do Sundays at 5:30, do an Eat to the Beat band. But lately they changed it up on me. They've been doing Fridays, Saturdays with really good bands. So I've been doing Saturday lives at 5:30. Last week we did Hoobastank at 5:30, which I was literally, it was like I don't even know how to explain it. I was like, I get to watch Hoobastank for free.
Right? That's great.
I was like, sign me up. I'll be there. But yeah.
I love it. Well, let's kind of dive in to just kind of hearing about your experiences at the parks and getting some good info from you. So tell us all about your first trip that you took with your kids or with your oldest maybe or your youngest or both kind of to the parks and what that experience was like.
Okay, so my first, I waited till she was 6 months old.
Okay.
I know for some people that's too young, but as a local and as someone that missed the parks a lot, because I was I don't know why I was holding off, because I had an annual pass and she was free, but I was I need to wait. I took her when she was 6 months old, just because I was a new mom. Everything was new to me. Everything was like paranoia, like. But I did take my second when he was 2 weeks old.
Wow.
So as soon as I felt okay,
Yeah.
I ran back to the parks. Because I already was familiar with the baby centers. I was familiar with first aid. I was familiar with things that I was going to need. So, like, I knew where I could pump. I knew where I can feed him. I knew where I can change him. My kids were potty trained at Disney.
That's awesome.
Not a lot of parents do that.
Right.
But yeah, I did that. Disneyland is a little easier with the baby centers. I'll be honest with you guys. Walt Disney World, get it together. Because at Disneyland, they have something called toddler potties in the baby centers, which they don't have out here at Disney World. There are these little potties that don't automatically flush. So you take your toddler to them. They're at their level, and they just have like little seats and everything for like seat covers, and it was amazing. My daughter was potty trained at Disneyland.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. But Disney World doesn't have that. So free stickers are your best friend at Disney World.
Yep.
Those
Cover up
big
those
circle
sensors.
stickers,
Yep.
you grab them, you
Exactly.
put them over that sensor. Best friends.
Yeah, my oldest, even now at 6, still makes me cover that sensor when we go into public restrooms that have those automatic flushers, because it scares him. He doesn't like how loud it is. All of the above. So
No,
I still feel that
don't
as a
blame
mom
them.
of a 6-year-old.
Yeah, so free stickers are available at DVC, any DVC hub. Sometimes I've noticed cast members standing on the doors outside of the stores, or like outside of restaurants. They'll have like a roll of stickers, and you can be like, "Can I have some free stickers?" And they're more than happy to give you guys as many stickers as you need. So
Yeah, that's
collect
perfect.
them
Yeah.
stickers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Kathy says she would carry Post-its. Yep, that's exact same process. Yeah.
Same concept.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. So what were your favorite rides to take those littles on whenever you would go? Or would you just kind of go and just enjoy the scenery, or did you guys do a lot of rides? Kind of what were those trips like with your littles?
So my first trip, I took it easy. So I did Small World, Winnie the Pooh's Adventures. I think I stayed in Fantasyland. Like, that was our go-tos. Like,
Yeah.
anything in Fantasyland, we were there.
Yeah.
As she got older, my oldest got older, I remember I was so excited when she reached 38 inches. Because I was like, oh, that opens a whole new window, like,
Yeah.
of things you can do. And I remember her being really excited about riding, I think it was Matterhorn. I think that's what it was. And Splash Mountain. She
Yeah.
loved it. And after that, I couldn't get her off of them. So when she reached 40 inches, I was like, "Ooh, this is a whole new thing." But now I don't know why she's like afraid to ride anything. So
Oh no. Hopefully it's just a phase and she'll
I'm
grow
like,
back out of it, right?
what happened? Come back. Where's my child?
Right, right.
But my little one right now, he rides mostly everything. He's a tall 3-year-old. So I haven't put him on anything crazy, though.
Yeah.
He does do rice. He does Smuggler's Run, which is like a little different for some kids. I did put him on, what is that? Star Tours? Sorry.
Okay.
So he's doing okay so far. So always test out your kids. Those are my testing rides. Like,
Yeah.
anything with a screen and a simulator. If you do okay in those, then I might be safe enough to throw you into a roller coaster. But
Yeah.
that's just me. Okay, don't do as I do. Do as you feel safe doing. Okay.
But that's a really good point, because a lot of the roller coasters don't bother kiddos, but then they get in front of those ones that have the screens and the simulators and all that, and that can really bug their tummies a lot of the time. So that's a
Yeah.
good point to kind of push them that way first before you kind of backtrack and go back to those roller coasters.
Yeah, because always, like, I've seen kids, like, I've witnessed the meltdowns and the panic attacks and the lines. If your kid's doing that, just parent swap.
Yeah.
They're not ready.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're freaking out before they even get on the ride, just be like, see you
Right.
later. We'll
Right.
try again later. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And those of you who maybe are not familiar, Disney World and Disneyland both offer a rider swap option where if you've got a kiddo who's too small or just not quite ready yet, you can see that cast member at the front of the line and they will scan either your ticket or your magic band so that way you can ride kind of in shifts. So that's a great thing that Disney offers for parents, especially in those situations.
yes. And
Perfect.
take advantage of them too. Like if your kid's napping, parent swap.
Yeah.
If your kid doesn't want to go, parent swap.
Yeah.
If you, I don't know, whatever else, parent swap.
Right. Just do it. Just do it.
But just try it. It's there. It's not, it doesn't cost anything. It's free. All you have to do is ask.
Yeah. It's a really, really great option that they have. Yeah. Nice. So do you remember the very first ride that you took your kids on when they were that little?
Yes, I do. I took my daughter to Small World at Disneyland
Okay.
because I was dying to see her reaction. And I remember holding my phone. Like I had her on the, the baby Bjorns.
Yeah.
I had her in a Bjorn and we were sitting down and I had my phone in front of us so I can video, like I have her whole reaction
Oh, how
on film,
sweet.
like recorded.
Yeah.
Because I was dying to see if she was going to like it or not. Because
Yeah.
that was like my biggest fear, like taking your baby to Disney. And then
Yeah.
they go, like, what the heck are you bringing me to?
So was her reaction positive overall?
Yes, she loves it. She still loves Disney till this
Yeah.
day. Now my 3-year-old, I think I first put him on the merry-go-round
Okay.
with me at 2
Yeah.
weeks old. So
That's awesome.
it was sister's choice.
Yeah. Right. He had no say in that matter. He
Had
just
no
went
say.
wherever you told him to.
It's like, sorry, dude. What about you? What was your kids' first rides?
At Disney, what were their first rides? I would have to think back. Let's see. My son, we went to Animal Kingdom, I think our first day that we went to the park. So it was probably the safari, honestly, that he went on first, because that was our first park day on his first trip. And he loves animals and zoos. So like he loves Animal Kingdom, which like I appreciate because I also love Animal Kingdom a lot. And I feel like there's a lot of value in that park. It's very underestimated. But he loves walking through all the trails and all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of perfect first experience for him. And then my daughter, where did we go first? I'm going to have to look it up. I have to look back on my pictures. I don't remember what day we did first to figure out. I know her first like height requirement ride that she went on was Soarin'. And that was just our last trip. She was finally just tall enough to ride that. I think we rode it twice and she got measured like 6 times total.
Oh, yeah.
Because she was like right at that mark, which I appreciate the cast members doing their job and making sure she's tall enough and that she can be safe. But I know that was the first ride that she actually had to be like measured to go on. But I don't remember what her first actual ride was at Disney. I should remember that, and I don't. It all blurs together. We've gone a lot recently. Not, we're not local. We're in Ohio, but
Yeah.
for us, we've gone a lot recently. So I feel like the trips all kind of blur together.
You're like, it's all one trip in my head.
It is. Until I go back and like look at the separate photo albums, then I'm like, right, okay, I got it.
Okay. So somebody made a really valid point on the chat. They were saying that most of the time when they went to Disney with their little kids, they did a lot of the shows instead of the rides.
Yeah.
Because of ride requirements. That's another option. I
Yeah,
love the
Disney's-
shows.
They've
Parades.
got great shows.
Yeah, don't sleep on those.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited when we go on our next trip in October to see the Animal Kingdom shows. Because last time we went to Animal Kingdom, all the shows were closed, so we didn't get to see Festival of the Lion King. We haven't seen the revamped Finding Nemo show, which I love both of those, so I'm excited for that. And my kids are excited for that.
Yeah, it's so good. You guys have to see it.
Yeah,
If you
very,
don't go see
very
them,
good.
I will take you back. Make you go see them.
Nope,
Like,
turn
sorry,
around.
Jackie,
You gotta
no.
go back.
No,
gotta go back.
Oh,
I I love it. So what are your favorites right now to go on with your kids at the ages that they are now? What are their favorites, your favorites to go on together?
So I realized that I no longer have a say in what we get to ride.
Oh no.
Yeah. So my daughter loves going on Carousel of Progress. That's like her
Really?
all-time favorite thing. Like she must go on Carousel of Progress.
How funny.
And
That's
then my 3-year-old must do Buzz Lightyear. I forget what
Okay.
it's called here.
great. Space Ranger Spin, I think.
I have something Ranger spins. It's, I don't know. In my head, it's always Astro Blasters. Okay?
Right. You're in Disneyland mode.
Yeah, like that's my. I'm
Yeah.
like it's Astro Blasters. And everybody's like,
Right.
no, and I'm like, I'm sorry.
Sorry, it's Buzz.
But
It's just Buzz.
It's Buzz. Okay, we ride Buzz 3 to 4 times.
Yeah.
If we're at Epcot, he will demand like to ride Figment and Finding Nemo.
Yeah. Good choices.
I know it's just it's at this point I'm just like, should I even go with you guys? Because
Like you
you
just
don't
go
let
on
me
your own.
pick
You got
anything.
this.
Like, but yeah, they get little says of what they want to ride. So
Yeah.
it's usually like Figment, Nemo. I've never gotten like a Frozen request
Yeah.
from either of them, and I don't know why.
Yeah. Are they big Frozen fans? Do they like the music in the movies and stuff?
Okay, I was tortured by Frozen when my daughter was 3, okay? And when I say torture, it's like that movie would end and it would restart. It would have to restart again because we needed to watch it again. We
Right.
watched nothing for 3 months straight. It got to the point where like the movie was on and I wouldn't even notice that it was on. It was just like white noise in the background to me. Yeah, so
Oh no.
when now I'm like, why don't you ask to ride for Frozen? Because I strictly recall having a little Elsa or Anna in my shopping cart, listening to Frozen YouTube
Right. Constantly.
or the movie playing on your iPad
Yeah.
constantly.
My son went through a Moana phase right before our first trip, and it was literally nothing but Moana, and it was 24/7, which like not a bad choice, but also the same. Like it just becomes white noise in the background as you're listening to
like,
it. It's just like
Not
okay,
complaining,
we're doing
but
this again.
yeah, it's like I love you. You know, there's 100 other movies out there, right?
There's really
Like,
good
can we watch
movies.
one-
Can I find you
one
something else
other one?
that's equally just as good? Good music,
Right?
Disney animation, all of that. Like, let's go this way.
Let me redirect you.
Yeah. Well,
But
maybe
yeah,
you don't want to open the frozen box of worms. Maybe you just want to stay away. That way you don't get
Yeah,
on it, and then
I
it
don't
rekindles all of
open it.
that again.
I do not. But if they go, hey, let's go to Frozen, I'm like, oh, okay. Like,
Right, like,
it's
sure.
a great ride.
Right, it is. It's super cute. I love it. Very good.
But
Very
yeah.
good. Well, so let's talk about dining and eating in the parks. What do you guys typically, how do you handle that as a local? How did you handle that when you were not a local? Kind of what is your plan of attack with dining?
Okay, so dining, if we are going, because I like to do play dates at Disney with my son. So I will do it around meals. So we'll have breakfast at home, go play at the parks, and then leave before it's lunchtime. Okay, so then I don't
Smart.
spend a lot
Yeah.
of money on food. And I also bring him snacks. Because if you guys have been on my lives with my kids like to eat. And they can eat you out of your wallet, okay? Like, Audrey is not a picky eater at all. She will eat whatever you feed her. The 3-year-old is the issue. It has to be like freshly made French fries. Like they can't be the stale ones. I had
Yeah.
to be like, I'm so sorry, but can I get these replaced? Because he won't eat them. And I always feel bad. And I'm very thankful for the cast members that understand that, like, I have a toddler to feed, and
Yeah.
they're very kind to give me a fresh batch of like French fries.
That's awesome.
Chicken tenders are a go-to. Mac and cheese is another one that I hate to buy at the parks because I know it's Kraft mac and cheese.
Right.
Like $5 for Kraft mac and cheese.
Right. Like, no, we're not doing that. You can get a whole box for $1 at the grocery store.
That's what I'm saying. That's I'm like, can we eat chicken tenders instead? But yeah, I'm working on expanding his palate so that I can get away from the chicken strips then.
It's hard.
Mac and
It's
cheese.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you guys do eat in the parks on occasion, where do your kids typically like to go, or what are their go-to snacks or meals or that kind of thing?
So I haven't found a good place here. And I hate to say that because I love eating at Disney. I'll be the first one to tell you, like, I would love to pick a place and be like, let's go eat there. That's what we like. We're gonna eat there. I've been eating around the world at Epcot. I can't see myself spending that kind of money once a week. I'm like, maybe once a month, but not once a week.
Right.
It's good, but they're not my go-tos. Lately, Connections has been a really good one for all of us to pick something
Nice.
that everybody likes. In Magic Kingdom, I don't know why everything's like burgers, hot dogs, and pulled pork.
Yeah. And the
I'm
kids'
just like,
menus don't have a huge variety, especially at like quick service places. It's a lot of the same. I know when my husband and I were talking about planning our quick service dinners for this next trip, it was like, okay, we got to plan this out to make sure our kids are not eating, burgers and fries every single night for a week.
Yeah.
Like we got to get some variety in there, and it's tricky to do. You have to really plan accordingly to make sure that you've got some different options for your kids.
yeah, I would have to say the resorts have better options than the parks. So if you have a chance to leave the park and go to a resort, I would highly suggest going to like the Poly for Captain Cook's. Their noodles are my kids love their noodles. But where's the other one? We like to go to Port Orleans too for the gumbo and the beignets. That's another one. We went to, where did we go? The Poly. They had questionable mac and cheese because the 3-year-old did not eat it.
Oh no.
But he ate the chicken tenders.
Okay.
I forget what it's called there. Their little like cafeteria area.
Oh, I'm so bad with dining names.
Yeah,
Maybe somebody
sorry.
in the chat can help us out.
Yes,
'Cause I don't
Christina.
remember.
Magic Kingdom needs to step up their food game because
Yeah.
it's literally not, Jackie. If you found something different, let me know. It is burgers, hot dogs, pulled pork, mac and cheese, and some kind of chicken sandwich.
Yeah. Occasionally pizza. You can get pizza at a couple places, but that's basically it.
So it's like, and then
Not great options.
yeah, no, I refuse to eat at Pecosville anymore.
Oh no.
Sorry.
Bad experiences there?
Oh, I would eat at Cucina Cucamonga at Disneyland. But if you're gonna sell me boiled chicken tacos, no, I won't go back. I'm like, I won't go back. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, isn't the truth that everyone speaks that's been on to both coasts that Disneyland has always got the better food? So I think that is a prime example of Disneyland having better options than Disney World.
Yeah, I would love it if they would like incorporate, like get together one day and be like, hey, what are you serving at your park that's selling so well that we need to incorporate in both parks? So
Yeah.
I get so sad when like I get to see other like creators post things about Disneyland and then I'm like, oh, that looks really good. I would want to eat that. And then it's like Disneyland. I'm like, I'm at Disney World.
Right.
Like, can
maybe
we get
someday they'll listen to us. Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, if we all stop buying boiled chicken tacos, we would be okay.
See, people don't know what they're missing. That's the problem. They just settle for what we've got rather than looking at what we could have. And that's going to be our downfall in Disney World.
And can we get Disneyland churros at Disney World? Someone just mentioned that to me. They are different. So Disneyland churros are crispy on the outside and soft on the inside, and they're freshly sugar coated at every stop. Disney World, they're preheated churros in the back, and they're brought up, and they're literally sitting on a heat lamp, so they get stale by the time they get to you. if you
Yeah,
get
within
lucky.
minutes. Those are stale within minutes of sitting under those heat lamps, and they're
Yeah.
just like a crunchy mess, and it's just not good.
It was really sad. My first churro at Walt Disney World, I kind of wanted to cry. I was like, what did they do to the churros?
Right, when you're so used to what Disneyland had, and you're like, oh, this is so disappointing.
It was. I was like, and it's the same prize.
Right,
So I was
right.
like,
You're like, what are you doing? Come on, come on.
help me here. I want to like Walt Disney World.
Right, I have to
I
live
love Walt
here.
Disney World.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Hey, we,
yeah,
we all have preferences about different parks and all that kind of different foods, so there's nothing wrong with that.
no.
So age-old question: what age do you think is perfect to start taking your kids to Disney? I know you took both of yours at a very, very young age. In your opinion, what do you think is the perfect age to start?
So if you want your child to talk about their vacation forever, I'm going to say 3 to 4. Because my daughter still talks about things that happened when she was around 3 and 4. Like that's when her memory starts like recapping things.
Yeah.
If it's like your one time trip and you're not planning on going every, like if you go once a year and you want your kids to remember, I would say 3 to 4. But if you are like crazy like me, you can take them whenever you feel like it.
And that, I mean, I feel like that's what Kate and I have talked about too. Like, every age is a good age. There's new things at every age that the kids can do. I mean, we were just talking about, taking your kids on those height requirement rides for the first time and, them getting a say in what you want to do for the first time. And all those
Yeah.
kind of firsts make every age a little
So
magical,
I have a
feel like.
saying, and I think a lot of other people will agree with this. Anytime under 3, it's for you. Those memories are for you as a parent. Anytime over 3, it's for them
Yeah.
because they will remember those memories. The other ones are your photos. You will talk to them about like, hey, I took you and we did this and we did that. But yes, I that's what I think.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. That's absolutely true. My son was just under 2 when we took him, and he did remember quite a bit of his trip for a while, but it's lost now. He's 6 and it's gone. He'll talk to you about our recent trips, but his first trip, I don't think he remembers much of anymore. So I would agree. Yeah, if you're wanting them to really kind of have those memories stick in their heads, I think that 3 to 4 age is a really good age. Nice, very nice. So tell us about the parenting hacks you have figured out in these years of taking your kids with you. What are things that you always have to have with you? What are things that are overrated? Kind of what have you figured out?
Okay, so overrated, I'm going to say, I wouldn't say anything is overrated, but don't plan your trip with your kids. Like, don't have like, you know how some people do like every hour and every second? When it comes to kids, things are unpredictable. So be prepared to change your plans. Like, yes, plan things out. Like, yes, I want to try to do this and I'm going to try to do that. I would say pick a handful of things and be like, yes, these are our must do things together. We are going to try to make all of these things happen. If like, and then there's 5 things in the, like that are up in the air. We'll see if they happen, they happen. If they don't happen, they don't happen. Because kids change between like I'm hungry, I need to go to the bathroom, I'm not in a good mood anymore, so I'm gonna cry my way through this line, or I'm just gonna be a miserable hot mess, or I decided to take a nap while we were in line to ride this ride. So I would say be prepared for the unpredictable. Don't be upset. Do what you can. Take time to sit back and breathe and enjoy time just together. Like if you want to sit down at the hub for a parade, or even my daughter likes to draw, so sometimes we sit at the hub and I let her draw whatever she wants to draw. She brings her little notepad and her little pencil and she draws at the hub. It's just little things like that that make her happy, make her happier than me spending $100 on a dress for the trip. Or trust me, I've done it. Okay, Bibbidi Boppity Boutique. I took my child several times. Okay, the amounts of times that I had to untease hair after they tease hair are unsaid. But again, I got beautiful photos, so I don't regret it.
Right.
She doesn't remember half the time how long it would take, but she loved it. She loves looking at her photos and be like, "Oh, I did that."
Right.
Um, what's
Yeah.
something that's overrated at Disney? Pin trading. I'm sorry. Okay,
Hey,
if
that's
you
okay.
love pin trading, I think it's overrated. And the only reason why I would say it's overrated, the price of one pin is $13 to $12 sometimes. And if you have a little kid, they're not gonna want to buy just one pin
Right. They're
to
going to want a
trade.
whole handful, a whole lanyard full
Yeah.
that they can have. Yeah.
So I would suggest if you have kids, do not get them started on pin trading. Do I mean, if you want to do it like, let's collect pins, do that. But do not get them started on pin trading. Don't show them the pin boards. They're just there for decoration. Walk away.
They're just pretty.
Unless you have pins and you're willing to share your pins with them, I would highly suggest no, because it could easily lead to being like $500 in one day worth of pins. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you can spend $500 doing other things in the parks with your
Yeah.
kids. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Pin trading is
Hey.
overrated.
Nothing wrong with that. And
I
I think
collect
too, like you said, if you can do it all together and maybe as a family you're working towards collecting a certain character or a certain type of pin or whatever that may be, that way you put some parameters maybe on it
Yes.
to help. That way you're not spending $500, $600, $700 on pins. Yeah, and Allie said there's so many fake pins. You're right. It's so hard, if your kiddos got their eye set on one and you know that it's not real, to try to explain that to them is then a whole nother process.
Yeah, like try to explain to a 3-year-old, like that's not real. They're gonna be like, well, it's right there.
Right.
It's in my face.
Right. Like, what do you mean it's not real? I can see it. I can touch it. I can hold it. It's like, well,
Yeah.
it's a little more complicated than that.
I would suggest if you do want to get your kids into pin trading or your kids show interest in pin trading, wait till they're like 10 or 11 to fully immerse them into the process.
Yeah,
I think
collections
they-
are hard when they're much younger than that. And collecting of any kind, whether it's pins or whether it's, any other, you name the Disney merch that you can collect, and it's all the same kind of in that boat, I feel like.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, exactly. Any funny stories from traveling with your kids that you can think of, or funny moments that you had in the parks with them?
So, funny story. We were almost about to board Storybook. I think it's called Storybook Tellers or something like that at Disneyland. They're little boats and they take you around like miniatures of like the cities of the stories that you watch movies of or read books from. My daughter decides she needs to go pee as they're about to board us.
Of course. Perfect timing.
And I remember her saying, "I can't hold it," really loud, and everybody just looks at us.
Oh, no.
And I was like, "It's okay. We'll get off, and we won't write it. Like it's okay." And the cast member was really kind, and she goes, "Just tell them you were the girl that needed to go pee at the front." And I was like, "Excuse me?" And she goes, "Yeah, just tell them this was the little girl that couldn't hold it." And I was like, at first I was like, I don't know if she's playing with me or like if she really means it. Like, and she gave me a ticket, which was the parent swap ticket.
Aw.
And she goes, "Just come back and they'll let you through." And I was
Oh,
like,
nice.
this is hilarious. Like, I didn't know if it was funny or if it was like, I didn't go back because I was
Too
so
unsure
embarrassed.
about the circumstances.
Yeah, I was like, is this a joke or are we for real? Like, so I decided to not go back because I didn't want to be like, yeah, I had the little girl that couldn't hold it. Okay. Like,
Although I feel like anyone who was a parent in that situation that was like standing in line with you was totally understanding about the situation that you were
but
in.
the funniest thing is she's very quiet. If anybody's ever met my child, she's very quiet. And at that moment, she got really loud and goes, "I can't hold it." Like, all right, let's go. Like,
Right, like, okay, is this really the time you chose to be very loud? Like right now? Are you
right now,
sure?
like when everybody's like looking at you because you're about to board. And you're
Right.
like, I got hold on.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I've been fortunate enough that, knock on wood, not yet have I run into that experience. But I'm also that mom that's like, before any wait that's longer than like 10 minutes, like, no, we're going to the bathroom before we get in line.
No, I do too.
Right.
So that was hilarious to me. Like, we waited about, I never get in line for more than 35 minutes. That's my
Yeah.
hack. With little
Yeah.
kids, do not get in line for more than 30 minutes. Like, it's not going to go well for you. It's not going to go well for them. So I always made sure I took her to the bathroom before we got on. So that day, it was like, she had gone before we got in line. And
Yeah.
we get in line, and then we're about to board, and I can't hold it. And I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Okay.
We're going. Let's go. But yeah, avoided
no.
Storybook for a while.
Yeah. So what are your kids' favorite things to do in line? You talked about not waiting longer than about a half hour. That's pretty on par to what I typically do too. But how do you entertain your kiddos?
So I let them bring a toy with them. They're allowed to bring one toy into the park. Unless it's a special day, and then I will say, I know you've been wanting this toy for a while, and I'm willing to buy it for you today because you did X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. Because we go too often to be like, yeah, I'll buy you whatever toy you want.
Right. Right. You gotta meter that.
So you have to earn your toy that you
Yeah.
get in the park. So unless you are not earning a toy, we will let you know, like, hey, you have to bring a toy with you today. That works for like ages, I'm gonna say 4 and under. Now my eldest, I let her bring her phone. I'm sorry. I know.
I see nothing wrong with that.
Because she's at that age where she's like a preteen slash still a kid.
Yeah.
So sometimes she wants to talk to us. Sometimes she doesn't want to talk to us. So I let her bring her phone. I also let her bring a notepad where she can doodle on. She likes to doodle.
Yeah.
What's another thing that we do? We used to bring little card games where you can, I forgot what it's called, but it had it's like Picturama, but they're already drawn pictures, and you have to guess what they are. And it's literally like this huge stack. I got it on Amazon. And it's kind of like that heads up game.
Yeah.
But the cards are already made, and you don't have to use your phone for it.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And you get to get the movie. There are foods. There are all kinds of different things, and they're kid related too. So
Nice.
there's that.
Yeah, a little more helpful to make that kid friendly. We've tried doing heads up, but with my kids, they're also young. They're 4 and 6, so like they have no concept of who the majority of the people are, or they can't read the words, or they don't know. So it's like that we're not there yet.
It defeats the purpose.
Right? You're like, nope. It was one of those things where like, well, let's try it. Like, it can't hurt anything. If we try it and it doesn't work, then we move on to something else. But we tried it. It was like, we're not there yet. We're not ready.
Something that I think the cast members probably hate me for, I have brought PlayDoh when I feel like my kids are anxious.
Yeah.
Because there's days where your kids are feeling like a little more anxious than others. So I bring Play-Doh for them to like play in their hands.
Yeah.
To help them just like have something to do, to not face like, hey, there's a lot of people. Like I do it on crowded days. I will pull out Play-Doh on crowded days. Just because I know that when there's a lot of people, a lot of kids get anxious. And I get anxious when there's a lot of people. So
Yeah.
I figured they do as well. So anything that they can like literally just like a fidget or Play-Doh, I know they're going to come at me one of these days and go, ma'am, you can't bring the Play-Doh, okay?
We got to stop with
I
the
bring a
Play-Doh.
small amount, okay? It's a small amount. I get the party ones. They're like,
Yeah, the little teeny tiny ones. Yeah.
yeah, and I make them share that one container.
Yeah. Hey, as long as you're respectful and responsible and your kids are not like smearing Play-Doh all over the cues, I think you're good.
Yeah, we're good. But I have a feeling like I let the secret out, and if somebody messes it up for me, I'm coming for you.
Don't get Jazzy in trouble for the Play-Doh.
It wasn't me, okay? I didn't give you that idea. It wasn't me.
Oh, maybe we should not post this on the internet to live forever.
It wasn't
Oh,
me.
Abby says she's seen someone bring slime. That sounds like a terrible idea.
Slime is not my friend.
No, that
I'm
sounds
sorry.
awful because it's so much more gooey and like it pulls apart a lot. No, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
Play-Doh, I think, is the way to go.
What I like about Play-Doh that is if it's gonna make a mess, it's when it gets dry, and that's when you just throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
Um, but Play-Doh will last a whole day at the park if you put it back in the container.
Yeah.
I also don't. I'm like a bacterial freak though, and I will make sure they're using wet ones and hand sanitizer and going to the bathroom often to wash their hands. Even
Yeah.
my 3-year-old knows like I have to go wash my hands. He'll tell you, "Oh, my hands!" Yeah. So that's that's a thing that to make sure because Play-Doh can literally absorb a lot of bacteria.
Yeah.
So just FYI, okay? If
Yeah.
you are not a person that washes their hands often, do not play with the Play-Doh
Yeah.
at the parks.
Or
'Cause
just be prepared to buy, 2/3 of the way through your day. Just the Play-Doh went away. I don't know where it went.
yeah, it just
It must have
did you
fallen out
leave
of our
it in the
bag.
ride? That's my favorite thing to do. Did you leave it in the ride?
No.
Oh
Have
no,
your kids
somebody
ever
must have taken it.
I was gonna say, have your kids ever actually lost a toy at the parks?
Yes.
Oh no.
And it was so sad
Oh, were you
because it
able
was
to
in a
find
place
it?
where we couldn't get it back.
Oh no.
So my daughter used to be obsessed with Toy Story to the point where she used to wear cowboy boots everywhere.
Oh,
If she was in a princess dress, she wore cowboy boots.
that's a whole vibe.
Okay.
I love that.
She threw her Jessie doll like she was swinging her around, and it flew, and it ended up in World of Color.
Oh no.
Um,
Oh no. And then
I
like
don't
you
know
can
how
still
to even
see it.
report
Like
that.
like you can stand
She's
there and see her.
she's just floating somewhere, girl. Like I don't even know where she ended.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I
Poor
did not
Jessie.
report that. I didn't want them to be like that negligent parent lost her Jessie at World of Color.
So was that a special circumstance that you went and bought her a new one?
Yes, so I sent my husband out to get a new Jessie
Okay.
while we were watching World of Color, so that he could say he went and rescued Jessie from from the lake.
Oh no. I swam
It's
on
so
out there.
bad.
I got her for you. We're
We
good.
got her. No worry. She ended
Oh
up near the
no.
roller coaster
Poor
over there.
Jessie.
How about you? Have you lost anything in the parks?
Not that I recall, but we are more so the parents that are like, nope, you're not allowed to bring anything in with you because we don't want it to get lost.
Don't bring it
So
with
we
you. We
just
love it.
Yeah, we just find other ways in the lines to entertain them. Typically, we're traveling with friends, which is always helpful because it's like people they're not used to being around a lot. So like that will typically distract my kiddos. Either we're traveling with like my best friend and her partner, or friends or whoever it may be. So it's people that they can kind of bounce between all of the adults in line, and that typically helps. We taught them on our last trip to play I Spy, so that has been a fun new game that we've played with my 4 and 6 year old. We started it in the car because they were getting antsy the last like hour drive to Orlando last time. We're like, okay, we're going to teach you how to play I Spy, and overall it went pretty well. So they're older now. I'll be interested to see if they're any better at that game. We haven't played it in a while.
Don't bring it up till you come to Orlando.
Yep, exactly.
It's an Orlando game
I'm
only.
keeping it in my back pocket for when they're like in meltdown mode, and I'm like, hey, let's play a game.
I'm gonna see if I can still find that game on Amazon because it's been a while since I bought it.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I
And if
can
you find
share
it,
it with you guys.
send me the link, and we can post it on our in Discord and put it in our Amazon storefronts and all that good stuff, and have it for people to know. But yeah, we don't typically let our kids bring toys in with them. Occasionally, I mean, we will buy stuff for them in the parks. We try to set a limit. We don't go quite as often as you do, so we typically do buy them stuff at least once per trip, or we give them a set amount that they're allowed to have. per trip, so that way they can buy new stuff. So if they have a new toy that they've gotten, then we try to make sure we keep track of that. But it typically stays in the stroller at all times. Like, they can have it if they're sitting in the stroller. If they're not in the stroller, it's got to stay in the stroller, tucked underneath away, so that way it doesn't get lost.
Yeah.
Oh, I lost your audio there for a minute.
Hang on, give me 1 second. It's
Okay.
like someone's really trying to call.
Oh no. Okay.
Not right now.
I'm busy. No, we're good now. We're good. So let's talk about favorite
Okay.
memories. Obviously, the World of Color memory is probably a pretty good one. But what are your favorite memories, or memories that kind of stick with you from your experiences taking your kiddos?
So my favorite memory ever, and I'm never going to forget this. It's not even for my kid, okay? I took my husband's niece with us to Disneyland, and we used to dress up my daughter. So I'm the kind of parent that's like, hey, if I buy something for my kid and your kid's with me, they're getting the exact same thing.
That's awesome.
Um, just because I don't want your kid to feel left out.
Yeah.
You know? So I remember we're watching fireworks, and she goes, look, fireworks, look at my dress. And she literally made me tear up. Like, she goes, look at my beautiful dress. And I was like,
That's so sweet.
oh my gosh. I was like, I didn't even know the dress was that special, but I'm happy you're happy.
Yeah.
Like, you just made my
Yeah.
day. But I will never forget that day. She was 3 years
Yeah.
old
Oh, that's so
when
sweet.
she did that. And I was like, that's just,
Yeah.
I don't know. Making kids happy it's hard, but at the same time, it's very
Yeah.
rewarding.
And I feel
So,
like that's a lot of what fireworks especially are all about, If your kiddo finally is big enough and makes it to the end of the night and gets to watch the fireworks, and part of what I love about kind of pushing my kids to stay awake for the fireworks is half the time I'm watching them watch the fireworks, because just to see,
yeah.
to see that in their eyes and the castle, and just it's all so magical that it's pretty easy in that moment to forget about whatever crazy happened, whatever did or didn't happen, whatever rides you got to or didn't get to. When you're standing there at the fireworks, it's always a special moment, I feel like.
It is. I think as a parent, well, as a individual, you have your experiences, but as a parent, you start living your life through your kids' eyes. So you make sure that the experiences are have a little bit more value than they would. Like, you try to make sure you get a really good place for them to watch something, to make sure that they get to experience the full effect of the parade or the full effect of the fireworks show. Yeah, my husband calls me a crazy for this, but like, I will scout a place where I know for sure there'll be like very few people, and my kids can sit there comfortably and watch. And he's like, why are we scouting for this? It's like midday. And I'm like, because the parade's at 3 o'clock. So if
Right.
you start scouting right now,
Yeah.
we're gonna go on the ride, come
Right.
back, and that spot will be there.
Yeah.
And he's like, you are insane. Like, we could just literally run up to anywhere and watch it from there. And I'm like, no,
No.
it's not for me, it's for them.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
am
so
literally already planning. So we're going to Mickey's Not So Scary on our next trip, and I'm literally already planning where we're going to stand to watch the Booty You parade. So I'm the exact same way, because first of all, it's like my favorite parade. I've seen it once before back in 2015, and I just absolutely fell in love, and it's been my favorite parade ever since. So I'm like, I know exactly where we're going to stand, and I already have it planned out, and I already know what time I want to get there. And so I feel you on that. I'm the exact same way. But I also, to an extent, I'm one of those people that, like, I don't plan every hour of my trip, but I definitely have a plan for my day. But I've also learned, like you said, with kids, to be very flexible. But yeah,
yeah, be
fireworks is a
extremely
little
flexible.
different. Yeah, fireworks is a little different. We don't typically scope out too early, because typically with the stroller, and if I stand my kids in the stroller, then they can see, even if I'm standing directly behind them, and have an obscured view, so that way I don't block people, we don't block people behind
Yeah.
us. So fireworks is a little bit different, but those special parades and those special moments, it's like, nope, I am finding my spot. I'm finding it early. And if I have to go sit there for an hour while you guys go ride rides, I'm going to sit there for an hour.
I'm gonna sit there, yeah. Like if you want me to pay the lady next to you so I can be there, I will, okay?
Right? And don't put it past me.
Don't put it back. I'll buy her a snack too. Like what do you want?
Spread the wealth. Spread the wealth. Hey.
Right? Like did you want a churro? Did you want a pretzel? Did you want ice cream? Can you say
I heard
my
you
spot?
talking about this. I thought I'd just get it for you. Just,
Yeah, just
spread the magic
I'll
a little.
be right back. Can you imagine some crazy lady? I really want to sit next to you. So I'll buy you whatever you want
Yeah.
to eat.
As long as I can have this spot right here. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, like you tell them I'm your cousin or something, and I'm sitting next to you for the rest of the parade. That'd be hilarious.
It's fine. Totally fine. Totally fine. I love it. I love it. Well, I think at this point, going to open up to any questions that you guys have. I know we've kind of been hitting a couple comments and questions along the way. If you guys have questions or want advice, I've been very fortunate. Thank you so much, Jazzy, for being on tonight and giving us your perspective of being a local. I think is a different perspective than kind of where Kate and I are coming from. So
Yeah, I gave you guys props. Traveling with kids is not easy. It is not. I have flown with both of I used to travel a lot with my daughter. And so I learned a lot, like with what I can bring, what I couldn't bring, what I could do, what I couldn't do, what certain airports let you do, what certain airports won't let you do. I'll be honest with you guys, MCO, if you do have formula with you that you need to bring for you on the plane, they will test it and let you bring it on. Just FYI. Also, if you call your airline ahead of times, I've noticed that they will tell them that you need things for babies, and they will give you a list of things that they provide.
Nice.
Most of them provide diapers, wipes,
Wow.
bottles, formula, things that you can bring with you for free. I notice a lot of airlines will let you bring your stroller as a carry-on for your baby. And your diaper bag counts as a carry-on for the baby, not your individual carry-ons.
That's awesome.
Car seats are free, and they go on cargo. And so just FYI, you can bring your stroller from home that your kids used to having with you on the airplane. You could push it all the way up to the gate and bring it with you to Disney World. So you don't have to rent a $50 stroller. I think it's $50 for a stroller.
Yeah, I dropped the ball. I had meant to look into what the prices were. We talked a little bit about rentals last week. So if you guys missed that episode, it is up on our YouTube and our podcast. But yeah, probably right around that amount, I would think.
Yeah, and that's for one day.
Right. Yeah. And
Right.
occasionally you can get week-long or, multiple day rentals. It'll be cheaper. But yeah, the day-to-day stuff is expensive, especially in the parks. And those are not your best options.
You can't lean it back either. The ones at the
No.
park, you can't lean
They're
them
so
back when they need to
stiff.
take a nap.
Yeah. And
No.
there's they don't have the little nice baskets underneath or any of that stuff. It's just not worth it. Just not worth
Yeah,
it.
it's just super expensive.
I have a couple things in here. Oh, Connor, when is my next trip? So I am going the second week of October. So the 9th through the 15th, I will be in the parks with my family. That is my next trip. Jazzy, when are you going live next? Do you know what your plans are for the upcoming weekend?
So I will be live tomorrow morning
Nice.
from 9 till 2. And then I will be live again. I'm hoping Saturday. I'm hoping I'm not too tired. I will let y'all know tomorrow. Because I was at the park all day today.
Yeah.
So something I don't do is rope drop as a local. I don't rope drop. I know a lot of people say if you're coming on vacation, rope drop. Yes, do it because the locals will not do it. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I would. Saturday's up in the air, but Friday for sure. Actually, no. Saturday I will be at the parks because I want to watch. I think BB Mac is at Epcot this weekend.
Oh, nice.
I think
That's a
it's
good
this
one.
weekend or next weekend, but I'm really
Okay.
excited about it. Okay, so
Yeah.
if it's BB Mac, I'll for sure make it
That's
happen.
awesome. Yeah, that's
But
awesome. And for those of you who maybe don't know, a lot of the times when we have people that go live, like Jazzy and other streamers, we do post it in the Discord. So if you guys are on my end, you can hit my profile up here and join the Walrus Carp Discord. And we post a lot on there when people are live. So Jazzy's lives often get put in that Discord as well. So be sure to join us over there if you guys are not already there. Connor's asking, Jazzy, were you in the park today when the tornado that didn't touch down? I saw pictures of a funnel cloud, but I'm not sure exactly what happened. I think it happened
so when
this
the rain
evening.
started, I got stuck at Country Bear Jamboree,
Oh no.
and they were using it as a shelter for the
Oh
rain.
wow.
They weren't playing the show, so we were just literally sitting in the theater,
Oh gosh.
waiting for the rain to pass. Hopefully, they were gonna play the show. And then when it didn't happen, I was like, okay, well, I have to do this with Jackie. So I, my husband's plan was, let me take the kids to a ride, and then you go, because I was planning on doing it. I think it's called Venus something. It used to be a store, but now you can sit there and eat
Oh
your
yeah,
ice
over
cream.
in Tomorrowland, the
Yes,
Merchant of Venus.
thank you.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of doing it there because I was like, there's no firework music playing there for sure, and everybody's gonna be at the fireworks, so there's bound to
Yeah.
be a seat there.
Right.
But
Then
the
it
rain decided
poured.
to come, and
Oh
everybody
no.
was using anything they could as a shelter.
Right.
Don't blame anybody. I was with them like, oh, it'll pass, but it's still raining over here,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it did not
Well.
pass.
Oh no. Well, hopefully everyone's safe, and hopefully whatever weird clouds they had going on ended up being
Yeah, I
nothing.
didn't see a tornado though.
Well, that's good. So maybe it wasn't
So
near you. That's always a good thing. Kathy asked, what transportation are people using? Oh, since Magical Express is gone. So Kathy, I've seen a couple different options. People are still doing Ubers and Lyfts and those types of things. Those will run you 30, 40, $50 depending on how many people and where you're going and that kind of thing. But there are two different shuttle options that people have been using. One is the Mears Connect, Mears, Mears, Mears. They have been a shuttle that people have used, very similar to Magical Express in that way. And then the other one is the Sunshine Flyer. And that one, again, very similar in style to Magical Express, but Sunshine Flyer I know is like all train themed. So like the bus drivers dress up in like little conductors outfits and stuff, and it's all like themed around that. So those are the two that I know of, and I think those run like 15 to 20 per person. So depending on your family size, would depend on kind of what option is a better deal for you. But those are the ones that I am aware of.
I don't know any of that.
You
I'm
are
sorry.
fortunate enough that you don't have to do
I
it.
don't have to do that. So
Yeah.
like I said, I give you guys props for traveling,
Yeah,
especially
and
after that's been taken away, because that was a huge thing. Like that was a
yeah,
huge perk of staying on property
yeah,
that
for
got
sure.
taken away.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, and we're not flyers, even though we live in Ohio. We drive. We prefer to have our van available to us, so we drive everywhere. And we'll typically, like, if we're traveling with people, we'll go pick them up at the airport and bring them, those types of things. So we haven't utilized any of those ourselves. But I've heard people who have. Yeah, Kristen said we booked with Mears and had no issues. Maria says we used Mears private ride and it was good. So that sounds like a different kind of branch off of the Mears shuttle. If you book Mears and it isn't busy, not a lot of people, they'll send you in a private vehicle. Okay, that's good to know. I have heard that occasionally Mears have left people sitting at the airport for a while waiting to like fill the bus before they pulled away. So, but I feel like you could kind of have that experience no matter which transportation option you're using, depending on how many people have booked and times flights are coming in and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So Catherine said Sunshine Flyer is really good. Yeah, so that's good to know. But yeah, I think all those options are good options. If you're on the Discord that I was mentioning earlier for Walrus Carp, I actually just posted earlier today a video of someone who had used the Sunshine Flyer like just within the last week or two, and kind of posted the whole process on that. So that's under the travel section on the Discord if you guys are curious to take a look at that. And that's one of the great things about that Discord. If you guys have not joined it, if you've got questions or you need information, it's a wealth of knowledge over there. So be sure to add that. Just a small family of 3, we just Uber and Lyft. Yeah, and a lot of people prefer to Uber and Lyft because it's quicker and it comes right when you need it to, and you don't have to wait for other people. So that's definitely an option to think about as well. And I think on that video that I saw today, it runs around $35 to $40 dollars to get from the airport. But I think that was just a person traveling by themselves, so I don't know. I'm sure there are probably upcharges the more people that you have with you traveling around.
Probably.
Yeah, very nice. All right. Anything on your end of the chat?
No, I can't even see how many people are on my chat today. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
I don't know why.
Sure.
Sometimes TikTok, when I go live, it won't tell me how many people are in here with me.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, I don't know if I'm here by myself or if there's people here with me.
Well, I'm here with you, so that's at least promising. You're not talking to
I got
no
Jackie
one.
today. For sure.
Yeah, well, before we kind of log off here, Jazzy, tell us where people can find you, your social medias and all that kind of stuff. Tell us how people can follow your adventures in the parks.
All of my social medias literally are exactly the same thing, the All Things Jazzy. And I don't have a Facebook, so if you find someone on Facebook, that is not me. So I only have Instagram and TikTok. And there used to be a YouTube channel. I thought I deleted it, but then I was able to log into it again. But there's no videos, okay?
Okay, perfect. So yes, the All Things Jazzy on TikTok and on Instagram. Make sure that if you guys are on my end of the chat, it's super easy. Just hit her little profile name at the bottom of the screen over there.
Right there too.
And
click on Jackie. Follow Jackie.
Give her a follow so you can catch her lives when she's in the parks. Especially knowing that she'll be live tomorrow morning. So that is an exciting thing. So yeah, be sure that you hop on over and give her a follow. Before we log off tonight, just a couple other things. We had talked last week, Kate and I, about the Amazon storefront. We were going over things to pack and things to put in park bags and stuff like that. So there are now linked in my bio and also in Kate's if you're on hers, links to our Amazon storefronts that we have added all sorts of goodies for you guys. Kate put a lot of the stuff that she showed last week on our episode on there. So be sure to check that out if that's something that is interesting to you. She, I know, also put, Kate has been live at Disney a lot Disney World this week. And a lot of like the books and stuff where she gets a lot of her facts and history from her in her Amazon storefront as well. So check her out as well. You can find all of the Mom Street stuff in my bio as well. So make sure you give our Mom Street USA accounts a follow. We are on a little bit of everywhere. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, all of the above. And for those of you who maybe joined late or, missed part of it, these do get posted to our YouTube, and as well, they do get turned into a podcast. So within a few days here, this episode will be available for you guys to view, so you can revisit all of the great things that Jazzy had to say and all of our laughs along the way. You guys can feel free to have that. And tomorrow night, make sure to tune in and watch Kate do her Distery show with Kirk at 8:30 Eastern time. They are going to be talking about the Tiki Room tomorrow, so be sure to add that to your list of lives to view tomorrow, as well as catching Jazzy in the morning. What park are you going to be at tomorrow? Do you know yet?
We are going to be at Hollywood Studios tomorrow.
Nice.
So we'll see what we can get done. Last week, we had an awesome day. We were able to do all of the mountains at Magic Kingdom and some extra stuff without Genie Plus. Everything was like a 5-minute wait.
Nice. That's
so,
awesome.
FYI, we're trying to figure out what to do without Genie Plus.
Yeah. Well, and this time of year is hard because I feel like the crowds are very up and down.
Yeah, they're unpredictable. So it's like... if you have a day where you're just trying to save money, I'm just trying to figure out if it's possible to do a lot of things without Genie Plus.
Yeah, and that's great info. So definitely those of you who are are looking for that kind of info, tune in to Jazzy tomorrow morning.
Thank you, Jackie. Thanks for
Yeah,
having me.
yeah,
It was a lot
absolutely.
of
Thank
fun.
you so much for being here, and thank you to everyone who was watching and hanging out with us. We appreciate all of your support, and we will see you next week. Kate will be back next week, so we will be chatting more about ways to get to Disney. So stay tuned for that. But for now, we are going to sign off, and we will see you next week.
Bye. Thanks for
Bye,
having me.
guys. See ya. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.